Hey there friend, welcome to my channel. My name is Katie and today we're doing a nice evening yoga practice to help you to get a deep stretch into the entire body. This will be a nice way to decompress after the end of the day or to help you to unwind before bed. You don't need any props, but you might have a cushion or a yoga block nearby just in case you want a little bit of extra support throughout the practice. We're going to get started in child's pose, so you can come into whichever version you prefer. If you want to get that deep stretch into your lower back, keep your knees together, but if you'd prefer to stretch out your hips, take your knees out wide apart. Then the big toes stay together. Our hips are sitting back on the heels as best you can. If you can't get them down, that's where you can put a cushion or yoga block in underneath. Then reach your hands towards the front of your mat and then relax your forehead onto the ground. And same thing here, if your forehead doesn't quite reach the mat, that's okay. Take a cushion or a yoga block, put it in underneath, or just bring your hands in underneath your forehead. We'll stay here for about 2 minutes in total. You're getting a nice deep stretch into your back and your hips. So let's start to bring a little bit of awareness to our breath, just noticing it as it comes in and out of your body. Each time you breathe in, it's expanding your belly and your chest. And each time you breathe out, everything is getting a little bit smaller. Staying in this pose, we'll move into a breathing exercise. And this is a really great way to help to calm your mind. So breathe in for the count of 5 and then breathe out for the count of 7. And each time that you notice your mind drifting off into some thoughts, just come back, count your breath as best you can. Just a few more cycles of breath here. So if your mind drifted again, challenge yourself to come back. When you're ready to come out of child's pose, press your fingers down into your mat and slowly pull yourself up so you come onto all fours. From here, we're going to stretch out the shoulders with puppy pose or melting heart pose. So the knees stay directly below the hips here, but hands walk back towards the front of your mat and then melt your chest down onto the mat as well. Forehead comes back to the ground, and if you can't quite make it here, take that cushion or yoga block and just put it in underneath your chest. So we're not staying here for too long. We're just going to get a deep stretch into our shoulders. Hands are about shoulder distance apart here if you can. And if you feel any tingling or numbness within your fingers, just take a bend into your elbows, bringing your hands back a little bit closer to you. Maybe you'll start to count your breaths again here, encouraging your mind to slow down. Or just try tap into all of the sensations you feel as you stretch here. And just use those like anchors to keep your mind here with your body. Just a few more breaths here. Now to come out of the pose, you can gradually start to lift your chest up off the mat again. Keep your hands out towards the front of the mat, but you might bring them back a little bit closer to you. Fingers are spread wide apart. We're curling our toes onto the back of the mat and then dragging the hips up and back for downward facing dog. And we'll just take a moment here to stretch it out. So you might paddle your feet. If you want more of a shoulder stretch, release your head towards your mat and point your tailbone up towards the ceiling. One big belly breath in here. And as you exhale, we'll walk the feet towards the hands, eventually coming into a standing forward fold here. Feet are hip distance apart, knees are bent, and then let your head hang heavy here. Hands can stay hanging towards your mat, or you can come to grab opposite elbows. And once you feel settled, we're going to stay here for 2 minutes in total. So you're getting a deep stretch into your hamstrings and your back. Find those sensations and send your breath down wherever it's needed here. Take a moment here to loosen up your jaw. Relax all of those tiny facial muscles. And let everything become heavy again. Now we're almost there, just a few more big breaths in and out. You're doing really well. This pose isn't as easy as it looks. When you're ready, you can release your hands back down onto your mat if they're not already there. And then we'll walk both hands over towards the right side of the body. So you start to open up through your left rib cage. Take a big breath in to stretch it out. And as you exhale, walk hands over to the left and take a big breath into the right side of your body. Hands back to center now. Heel toe your feet out towards the edges of the mat. You can have them on a 45-degree angle, so your toes might be spilling off your mat. And then we're making our way down into a yogi squat. So nice and slowly, just start to drop your hips down towards your mat. It doesn't matter how far you go here. We're focusing always on how it feels rather than how it looks. And you can always have cushions or yoga blocks again in underneath. Use them like a seat. But we won't stay here for too long, so just try your best with this one. Elbows are on the insides of the knees and maybe palms are together here. Tailbone drops towards the earth, so your back is nice and straight. And if it feels good, you might gently press your elbows against your knees to open up your hips a little bit more. Big breaths in and out. And I really like this pose as a way to release stress. It's a very grounding pose. And we tend to store stress in our hips. So opening them up, especially at the end of the day, is a really great way to unwind. You've got one more big breath in and out here. And then when you're ready, we'll make our way back down to sit on the mat. So your hands might come back behind you. Just guide your hips back down, and then you can sit with your legs out long in front of you. You might want to shake them out here. Now sit with your hips towards the middle of your mat, and nice and slowly we're going to roll ourselves down, coming to lie on our backs. Give yourself a moment here just to close your eyes. Let your spine realign itself against the floor. Allow your arms and legs to take up as much space as they need here. And you might allow your palms to face the sky. Find your breath. Observe your thoughts. And if there are thoughts that you don't need to think about right now, just gently stop them. Come back to your breath and back to the sensations within your body. Now we'll make our way into a supine twist. So keep your left leg out long and bring the sole of your right foot up onto your left thigh. Your left hand comes to hold that top knee and your right arm reaches up towards the sky. You're stacking your hips on top of each other now, so your right hip is over your left. Then release your right arm back down to the right, having it perpendicular to your body. We're slowly encouraging that right knee towards the floor on the left side of the mat, but we do want to keep both of our shoulders on the mat here. So only go as far as you can keep that right shoulder connected to the floor. You can look up or you can look over at your right hand here if you want a deeper stretch. And then close your eyes. Find your breath, and we're just going to linger here for 2 minutes in total. Coming out of the pose now, when you're ready, start to reverse. Send your right foot back to the bottom of your mat and just come back into that resting pose that we did a moment ago. Letting everything settle again. We'll repeat on the opposite side now. So this time your left foot comes up onto your right thigh. Right hand holds the top knee, left arm reaches up. Stacking your hips again, this time your knee is coming over towards the right and you're releasing your left arm back down to the left. Both shoulders stay on your mat. Look towards the ceiling or look towards your left hand here. And just feel all of the stretches within your body. They are your anchors to keep your mind here. A quick reminder here just to see where your thoughts are. If they have wandered off, take them back. We're here just for a few more breaths. Slowly coming out of the pose now. Make your way back to center. Lying here again, just feeling how the body feels. Now we're getting a nice deep stretch into the sides of the body next. So we're coming into banana pose. You can reach your arms up past your head, then walk both of your feet into the bottom left corner of your mat. Keep your hips in the center and lift your head and shoulders up into the top left corner of your mat. So you've made a banana shape. And this might be enough for you here. This pose will subtly open up all the right side of your body. But if you want a little bit more, you could cross your right ankle over your left and then take your right wrist into your left hand. Gently pulling that right hand away from you. Now you've got lots of sensations all throughout the right side to focus your mind on. So just let it travel up and down the side of your body. And whenever you find an area of tightness, send a nice big breath into it. 2 minutes in total here. We'll take this stretch over to the other side now. So start to undo your banana. I don't think I've ever said that sentence before. Walk your feet into the bottom right corner of your mat. Then lift your head and shoulders into the top right corner. Remember, your hips are staying in the center of your mat. So stay here, just see how your left side is feeling, or go a little bit further by crossing the left ankle over the right, maybe pulling that left wrist gently away from you. Connect to your breath again. And now it's time to find those deep stretches within the left side. You can start to undo banana. There, I've said it again. Coming back to lie in the center of your mat. Take a bend into your knees so the soles of your feet are on your mat, and you can have your feet nice and wide apart. We'll do some windshield wipers. So as you exhale, drop the knees down to one side. Inhale to lift them back up, and exhale to drop them to the opposite side. And just do a few more like that. You're moving at the pace of your breath, so that might force you to slow down a little bit. And it can even be nice just to pause if it feels okay for your knees, and just allow gravity to stretch you out a little bit more. The next time that your knees are back in center, keep them there, and we'll finish with happy baby pose. So you're bringing your knees up towards your chest and then make them a little bit wider than your torso. Your arms come in between your knees here. We want to make our feet parallel to the ceiling, so you can just grab your shins or your ankles, or maybe your hands can make it to the inside or the outside of your feet. Imagine you want to bring your knees up into your armpits, and then we're playing with a little bit of opposing energy here. So the feet are trying to touch the sky, but your hands are gently pulling them back down to the earth. So a nice deep stretch for your hips and your lower back here. First, just see how it feels. You're just literally feeling out the pose. Sending big breaths into whatever tension you feel. And then maybe you might explore a little bit here, so you might start to straighten one leg at a time. Maybe gently rock from side to side to massage through your back. Might feel nice to bring the feet a little bit wider apart, or maybe they need to be a little bit closer together. Just do whatever you need to do here for the last minute or so of our practice. Remember, your mind is even more susceptible to distraction towards the end of the practice. So really try to keep yourself with your sensations. You might count your breath again, or just observe as it travels in and out of your body. We'll come out of happy baby now, so you can release your feet, send them back down towards the end of your mat. Arms out wide away from your body with your palms facing up. You might have some last little fidgets that you need to get rid of here, or maybe your body is craving a certain stretch. So give yourself a moment just to do whatever you need to do, and then come and find your stillness. Once you've found a way that you can be still, we will stay here for a moment. Feeling all of this new calming energy that you have created from your practice. And just allow your body to switch off and become heavy. And it's just soaking up all of that calming energy. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you can. You can just let the video play out. When you're ready to come back, then bring slow movements into your body. Maybe wiggling your fingers and toes. And then very slowly, you might roll over to one side. And then use your hands to push you back up. So coming into a seat again on the mat. We'll just take a nice big breath here. So you might close your eyes. Breathe in through your nose. And then out through your mouth. You might do that a few more times just to get rid of any last bits of stress or tension. So thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed this evening yoga practice. If you did, please let me know by leaving a thumbs up below, or you can leave a comment. I have lots more evening yoga practices, so if you would like to check those out, they're all up in this playlist. Until next time, have a great night and goodbye.